Alright guys, this is a jam-packed video, but this isn't my car. As you guys can see, my car's right here. This is my friend's car. Man, his front end's a lot cleaner than mine. But yeah. Right now we're gonna figure out what's wrong with his car. So he put new brakes on after replacing his whole rear end. Not really the rear end, but replace his axles with my axles and the hub with my hub. And the threads, he said, are stripped. I think I can still see them. We can't put his strut in, so he drove here with no strut. And then also his rear end is yeah, barely being held on by whatever this is. So we're eventually gonna get to that, but we're prepping this for a drift event because he's going drifting, I'm going drifting. That should be in next video, but for right now we're gonna tackle his brakes. Put a fresh rotor on. If we notice, his caliper is rubbing on the rotor on the back. I don't know if I can show that. Kind of see there's material taken off of it right there. Extremely difficult to show. All right, so you can see right here the damage on the rotor, and here's the caliper. So you got these from the junkyard, right?
Yeah.
So it don't matter if they get fucked, we can always slap a different one on.
Yeah.
But his part number for his caliper is the same as my 325 calipers. So it also has this lip here, and this lip is what's hitting on the rotor. So I think we got the wrong part number rotor. Did the rotor, new pads, dude. This all spins so smooth. The brakes haven't been compressed since I pushed the piston in. So they're not rubbing on the rotor yet, but dude, that's so smooth for a welded disc. All right, so I went through my tool bag because, dude, these things just over time, like it's still like that right now. I end up like, oh, I'm working on something. I'll throw the tools that I'm using, the bolts that I'm like, as I'm taking stuff off, I'll throw it in my bag. So while I'm working on it, I know that stuff's there. But then what ends up happening is I don't take some of the stuff out when I get extra parts. So I throw more in and more in and more in. Then next thing you know, my tool bags are filled with bolts and tools, and they're miscellaneous. Like I have, this is a 7mm Allen. And then right here is another 7mm Allen, and I cannot find a 6. This is only used for the guide pins on the back of a brake caliper. So it's a kind of rare that I'm ever going to use that, but then it's just like flopping around in there, and it's just been really bothering me, you know. So finding like the right tool and going through everything, I'm trying to like numb it down. Like, why do I have 3 16mm wrenches? I don't need that. So I'm pretty much just trying to narrow it down to the essentials. So when I do drive around, I usually keep my bag with me that's just tools, and I'm going to try to keep it a little more organized. I don't really have a lot of space, so everything just kind of gets condensed. And I have a second bag for like when I go to the junkyard, so I can throw stuff in there. And then here's all the miscellaneous stuff that was in my tool bag, bro. A brand new hood latch for my M3, just all this stuff. Oh, dude, this broken BC Racing bottom of the coilover, all these random bolts, all of these have been with me. So I've just been trying to condense and clean up as I'm getting ready for this. Bro, I sliced this bolt. That way it would fit, right? The problem I have right now is I can't turn it anymore to get it all the way against that. So there's like a gap between. There's a gap between there. So what I tried to do is stick a nut, which I have, on the back of it, and like the first thread like wants to start, but because this is threaded on the inside, I can't just push this and put the nut on. But the good thing is this thing is threaded to this damn shock, so like I don't think, I mean, this is probably not good for suspension, but I don't think this is coming off. So I'm like, all right guys, so I just did the most wild thing ever. We could not find a bolt that would work for this without like drilling and tapping, and we don't have enough time for that. So I cut a bolt in half and I pushed it through. The threads were gone on this, right? And then it started threading through there, and that's the problem, is there was a gap. Now you can see the gap. There is a gap. And it wouldn't go, I would hammer this flush to the knuckle, and then there was a gap in here because of the threads, and I could not get it to go all the way through to put a nut on. Now you can see some threads, but I could not for the life of me get a nut to screw onto there. So what I did, because I accidentally got a bolt too short, that's the problem here. What I did was I pushed it all the way so there's a gap here, and I welded it together. Now I did a good enough job that he can get to the drift event. There we go, shook the shit out of it, and that ain't moving. So I did a good enough job that he can get to the drift event and drift all day tomorrow, and this will probably be fine. But I did a bad enough job that when we're done and we want to do this right later, we could just cut these welds. I might add a couple more on the bottom since we can easy access it, but the welder was fighting me at first because I had the heat too high. I turned it down and it started doing a little better on the bottom. So I think I'm comfortable doing the bottom. Go ahead, pull the handle.
Oh, shit!
Yeah, that happens. You didn't have to do this for me, you know?
No, it's fine, dude. And then we do have to take the rotor out.
Yeah, it's a 6 and then a 16 for the caliper.
Oh, it's right there.
Didn't even need the slide hammer.
Nope, did not.
So it's right between Kenosha.
Yeah, that bearing's bad.
Like a little bit towards the west. Yeah.
I just need to get a light hammer.
We better hold my shit next to it. If it doesn't, we'll be on the side of the road for the toolbox. We'll make room to get there, bro. Yeah, right there. It's definitely not as my radiator.
Almost out.
Oh, you want
And it's out.
one on the front, one on the back, flats on that shit. It's like a
Nice.
really big. I'm remember for
I like my car way better in the dark.
Hold up. I gotta get all of them.
É poça,